Well, oh, jump three, and that's gonna do it. Buffalo taking out Scar with the pop-off. That's right, there's some beef between these guys. There's some beef, so let me explain this, right? When Buffalo beat Ninja Killer, right? Scar, he went on Twitter, he was like, holy crap.
Fight!
Kombat League is by far the worst, the absolute worst game mode, worst ranking system that I have ever dealt with in any game as long as I have lived.
This is enough! Hey, why am I having to play against this shit for? I found this motherfucker 6 times in a row now, and he's disconnected every single time. I'm sick of this shit, man. That's 6 ranked sets worth of points played for nothing. I'm not getting no win for it. I'm not getting no points for it. He's making me play in a 150, 180 Wi-Fi ping.
My Kombat League experience and time playing the game has been completely ruined and taken away from me. I picked up my first zoning character, which is Scarlet, and I'm very new to her. Still a lot to work on and matchup experience I need to gain. The point is, in 2 days, literally 2 days of picking up and playing Scarlet, I have been DDoSed by 2 different players.
Watch this! Watch! I won the first match. Watch what he does now. He's done this to me for 6 ranked sets today. In 1 hour. 1 hour he's done this to me. Look, the 30 seconds on this screen he makes me wait. Then he chooses the new character. And then he waits on this screen the whole way. Look at the timer. He waits until it goes down to 5 or 4 or 3 and then he picks Scorpion. Because he's making me wait. Then I'm about to win. Then he disconnects. I get nothing. This is enough now. Enough.
There is literally no point to play the Kombat League unless you want the skins. Yeah, you can hit Elder rank, you can, get up there, but it's gonna get taken from you in a month. So what's the point? No other fighting game has a ranking system this horrible. What other fighting game has a ranking system that resets after a month?
Kombat League has become almost unplayable. I fear I cannot play the game without getting DDoSed and losing internet for sometimes the entire day. This is a major issue, and I hope NRS is aware of this and they somehow think of a solution to fix it. Look, I understand people don't like many things about the game. Fatal blows, pokes, jumps, wake up system, breakaway, Cetron, Jackie, Liu Kang, Melina not being in the game, and so on. I've heard about these issues uttered repeatedly since day one. But how are people not talking about the fact that you can jump in a Kombat League ranked set, and if you dare beat your opponent, you will be punished by getting DDoSed.
This guy wouldn't last a second with me if this ping was 50 ms in a wired connection. He wouldn't last a second. See that? Look! He's about to lose. It's 1-0 to me. Second round, I played in this disgusting lag. He goes.
Should have more skin options. Do y'all know how much of a grind and how irritating this is? And we only get 3 skins from this crap? Are you kidding me? They should at least have 5. This was literally just thrown together like this freaking game. The game is decent, but this game was definitely just rushed and thrown together. You can tell by the animation, the hitboxes, and everything. MK11, yes, I'm saying it was just thrown together. Like, okay, here y'all go. Y'all keep asking for it, here y'all go.
No joke. I am on a 2 DDoS streak currently in Kombat League. My last match yesterday was playing against a noob Sabat player, where after I defeated I instantly got DDoSed and my internet was down for over 6 hours. I get up today, literally first match into my stream. Not even 7 minutes into my day of playing Kombat League or MK11. I immediately get DDoSed by a Jackie player because I beat her. I don't know what to do at this point. I guess the best solution is to keep changing my IP address, get a VPN, and hope they can't DDoS me through that. In my opinion, this is the biggest issue about the game.
This is over the line. NetherRealm Studios, Warner Bros, please, please, for the love of God, if you truly care about your players, listen, I'm a NetherRealm player, okay? I don't leave your game after one week like the other big channels do. Okay, get him out of here or fix this issue. Please fix it now or your Kombat League is unplayable. Trust me, people are leaving your game. People are leaving the Kombat League. No one's gonna play this Kombat League anymore. I swear they're all gonna just have enough one day like I've had enough now. I'm about to stop playing this shit now.
Now, that's just the first part of what I have to say. The second part is the freaking Wi-Fi warriors. People like me who actually went out and bought a wire, and all the other people out there that have a wire should not be forced to play with you on your Wi-Fi just because you want to play on Wi-Fi. There are literally streamers that play on Wi-Fi, and I'm like, what the heck? You are a streamer. Why do you not have it cord? There is no reason to play this game at some type of competitive level and not have a wired connection. If you want to play on Wi-Fi, that's fine, but you should be matched up with people on Wi-Fi just like you. Y'all can suffer with that Wi-Fi together, but us people who have a wire should not have to deal with that. We just should not have to.
Players, now watch him. He's blocking. See, he didn't block low or high. He's just holding R2 so he can start the disconnecting. See that? Look. After this happened, I came on Share Factory, saved the clips, and I'm making this video now.
So I started playing last night, and I started grinding a little bit on PC. I figured I'd play some Kombat League, and I make it up like 1 or 2 ranks, and I'm like, okay, I'll play like 1 or 2 more sets, and that'll be it. And I run into somebody who is fucking undefeated in Kombat League, and I was like, oh boy. So I run into him, I play him. First game, it's pretty close in the first round, but I win. Second round, I land like an overhead with Nightwolf. I go like overhead, boom, boom, and then hit him with the fatal blow. And you know the fatal blow has like the wolf howl in the beginning. It goes like, arr! So I hit him with the boom, boom on the overhead, 2-hit overhead string, and then went, arr! And it just stopped. And I could tell that he had rage quit, and I was like, oh man, of course, this motherfucker rage quit. But it was like stuck on ending game, and I was like, why is it stuck here on ending game? I just beat this dude and he rage quit, but I can't escape from the lobby. Like, I don't know what the fuck he did, right? So I'm just stuck there. And I was like, okay, do I have to just leave now and take the loss? Even though I beat him and he rage quit? That's so weird. So I'm sitting there looking at this, and I look over at my Discord, and my Discord just has like the spinning icon. And I was like, oh no, that's bad.
Oh crap, don't get me started on first to 2. First to 2 is the stupidest crap ever. First to 3 is the way to go.
Scar was on Twitter, right? He was saying this is only because they went to first to 2. He was basically implying that if this was first to 3, Buffalo would not have beaten Ninja Killer, right?
First to 2 is absolutely horrible. Absolutely horrible. Like, even the fact that the Pro League is based off of that is horrible, and the pros don't like it either. It doesn't support, like, an actual smart player or very good player, even though yes, you could still win as a very good player in the first to 2, but people who play in a very gimmicky way can scrub you out in first to 2. They just can't.
What's up, dudes? Max here. Got a follow-up to a series of videos that I've been talking about over the past couple of years, ever since YouTube's big changes have been taking place over its graphic content filters. And that is the ongoing battle between Mortal Kombat content creators and having their videos be okay on YouTube. Now, the term okay is a very unique one because you can still put up videos of MK on YouTube. It's just that within certain games, and depending on what you show, there will be issues later on with demonetization Or the big one now is age restriction.
You guys probably already know that uploading videos, gaming related videos on YouTube has been awful. And it's been awful for a while, but like just recently, like maybe the past few weeks, it has been so bad. Before, if I uploaded a Mortal Kombat 11 video, it would not get demonetized or age restricted. YouTube started getting more strict, and they started demonetizing Mortal Kombat videos because of the blood. Apparently it's too realistic and it's not advertiser friendly, so they demonetized it. Then Maximilian came up with the idea of putting filters over the blood, which then will mess up the YouTube machines and they won't detect the blood.
I was talking to like Destroyer about this, and like overnight, like 50 or so of my videos, some that were like unlisted, so not yet public, a lot that were already public from like now until like 2, 3, 4 months back, even when I was posting like beta content and stuff, a lot of them just got flagged.
No, wait a minute, that's not right. Yo, what the fuck?
And at the end of the day, like Mortal Kombat 11 is it's a fucking video game. Like there's nothing like that crazy about it. We're not doing like shit with like real people or whatever. Fucking video game, but yeah, Mortal Kombat like is getting hit very, very hard on YouTube, and it's getting very difficult to be like an NRS YouTuber.
You gotta be kidding me right now. You serious? Oh shit! We getting hit hard! What the fuck is going on right now, man? Everything's getting demonetized!
Before, if you didn't put that filter, your videos would get demonetized like pretty much 100%. But then if you put the filter on, it would get hit maybe like 40% of the time, which is, you know, better than getting hit all the time. But of recently, the videos with the filters, they are still getting hit like instantly. I have tried to upload 4 videos in the past couple days, and every single one of those videos has gotten hit by YouTube. They either got demonetized, age restricted, and this is not even like they got hit before I even made it public.
These are videos right now that I clipped from like my stream archives, and I think this was also like stuff that I had recorded off stream. And right now these videos are private or whatever, but when they're put up, they immediately get flagged. And you see this symbol here, it's death for like all us YouTubers. These videos are getting flagged like before we even can make anything public, which is it's probably better that they get flagged before they're public. But the thing is like they get flagged and then they take a little bit of time to even get manually reviewed. It says like manual review, but I've seen instances of why I sincerely doubt that any of these videos are actually being manually reviewed. They're just some kind of bot or some kind of crappy system is just flagging them.
I'm sorry, people. I know you hate to see this kind of shit. But we had to do it! In order to see the community grow!
Let's take a look at 5 of my biggest problems with MK11's story. Number 5. The setup from MKX's story is barely followed up on. That game ended with Dark Raiden and the Revenant set up as the big threats to deal with next time, only for Raiden to just fucking cease to exist in Chapter 2, and half the Revenants to go unmentioned entirely while the others are just minions of Kronika with no personality. NetherRealm needs to stop setting up the next game at the end because they've proven highly likely to change their minds during the 4-year gap between games, but still have to do something with what they set up even if they don't want to anymore, leading to a half-assed resolution that no one is satisfied with. Number 4. Ronda Rousey cannot act to save her life.
Cut this shit! You'll kill us whether we fight or not!
Ronda can't act. NetherRealm or WB or whoever was responsible is a disgrace for prioritising having a big name to market the game over someone who could actually give this prolific character the performance she deserves, and more to the point needs to make her role in the story work. Number 3. Kronika is the dumbest motherfucker who has ever lived. Kronika pulls a bunch of people through time so she can have minions, but that only makes sense for the villains. Why does she bring through the heroes from the past too, including Raiden? A big part of her ultimate goal is to make Raiden and Liu Kang fight each other, so why do something that erases the unhinged Dark Raiden, replacing him with a better Raiden who has no problem with Liu Kang, when it would be far more logical to just send the evil Liu Kang who has a beef with Raiden that she already recruited to her side? Number 2. The fucking twist. Early in the third act, Raiden realises that he and Liu Kang fighting is all part of Kronika's plan and that it has happened many times before, even outside of the 4 games we've seen it in. And then Kronika clarifies that this has happened many times before in previous timelines because 2011 was not the first timeline reset. What was once a story about protecting the Earth from otherworldly threats is now about time travel, a component not canonically present in the series until 19 years into its existence. And really, the time travel itself is barely relevant in this game. Half the roster lacks a counterpart in the other time period, and most of those that do barely interact with their counterparts. The only real relevance of the time travel is in the ending, which leads us into number 1. Nothing fucking matters anymore. Again. At the end of the story, regardless of which ending you get, the entire universe is reset. Every character in MK history has been wiped from reality aside from Liu Kang, Raiden, and maybe Kitana. Now, Liu Kang has to craft a new reality to get everything back to roughly how it was / should be. It's kind of fucked up to think that he's likely to make it so every real world atrocity prior to his birth will still happen, but that's besides the point. Once again, it's all been wiped. Like Sonic 06, but even worse, time gets rewound to the beginning of the universe, undoing every single thing that happens in the game, so none of it fucking matters. No victory, no loss, no development. None of it. This story is a fucking train wreck.
Raiden warns me, I can't fix everything. Change too much and I could lose Vera, lose Jackie. But this power is bigger than us. If I think only about helping myself, what kind of officer am I? What kind of man? I've been lucky. My family and I have lived the American dream. But most people who look like me haven't had that chance. I owe it to them to put things right. And I'm not waiting centuries for people to get woke when I've got the power to speed things up.
I've talked at length about why MK11's total inversion of Sindel's character is disrespectful, problematic, and inferior to what we had before, and I've yet to see a decent argument to support the new direction. It's mostly, Sindel is their character so they can do what they want. Sean and Dom didn't create her. She has agency now. She was still under mind control in 2011 and X, or she would have attacked Quan Chi who murdered her, so she spent twice as long without agency. Old Sindel was boring. She wasn't, and you'd know that if you'd actually played those games. Or I like Femdom. And don't even get me started on that, it's subversive crap. She was already a subversion because she had the typical evil gothic queen look but turned out to actually be a hero. A subversion of a subversion is playing it straight. Whether you prefer this version or not, without an explanation for why she's suddenly evil, this is an objective flaw in the storyline because it contradicts everything we know about the character, and her role in earlier games no longer makes any sense. And the devs' excuses for this, true to form for MK11, don't hold up under scrutiny. They claim they took inspiration from Lady Macbeth, which is just baffling to me. For one, Lady Macbeth actually felt guilt for the things she did, as highlighted in the famous sleepwalking scene. This Sindel has no problem brutally beating her own daughter or even killing her.
Oh, Kitana, my first husband, your father, was a fool. Jared believed that we were no better than commoners. He refused to assert the privileges of our throne. He traded away our powers, our divine rights. Edenia grew weak and vulnerable. Then Shao Kahn invaded, embracing his power, taking what was his. Here was a man unashamed to assert his privilege, and who vowed to protect mine. I had found my true love, and to consecrate our bond, I killed Jared for him.
Okay. I'm just gonna. What the fuck is this?
I'm starting to think the creatives at NetherRealm have serious issues when it comes to women. Maybe that's why they overcompensate with their shallow and blatant virtue signaling.
But I miss your skimpier attire.
I do not dress for you, Shao Kahn.
I mean, Jesus Christ, can you guys not?
Now we have people who even like MK9 and 10 who really hate this entry for just how badly it messes up the series. And admittedly at first, I had a hard time understanding why. Then I started playing Towers of Time, learned about the game's political agenda, and saw Sindel's arcade ending. I totally get it now. It's such an embarrassing step backwards that makes you wonder what the hell was even going on in between games. Even as someone who isn't a huge MK fan, I feel like this franchise was done so filthy by this fucking entry, to the point where nothing about the refined combat is enough to justify this level of incompetence and terrible design. God, where do I even start? Well, how about the fact that the game was designed as a painful mobile grinding experience that was done specifically to waste your time? Every single mode in this game, including the story and the basic arcade mode, is made for the purpose of grinding to farm this in-game currency for the Crypt, or for buying stuff from the game's main menu. If you want to unlock anything in this game, you're gonna be spending countless hours doing the exact same thing over and over and over and over and over and over again. They're banking on you to be too lazy to accumulate the currency yourself, and they do this by intentionally making the rate of your currency as sluggish as possible. You don't want to spend hundreds of hours playing repetitive game modes just to get some crystals? Well, fork up $40, you fucking drone. And it might not have been so offensive if it wasn't for the fact that the rewards you get for all this trouble are fucking pathetic. The costumes are a complete scam, as there's only 4 to 5 actual different skins for each character, and they try to hide that laziness by treating each different color palette for them as completely different skins. And instead of being allowed to customize the color of these skins by yourself, you have to do a bunch of shitty tasks in order to unlock alternate color patterns for these costumes. And what makes it even worse is that they give them different levels of rarity and challenge to unlock. The black shirt Johnny Cage is supposed to be more valuable and rare than the green shirt Johnny Cage for no other reason other than it just has a different rank. And what makes it so annoying is that in spite of these color swap costumes clearly being the exact same thing, the game still treats them as unique skins from each other and forces you to complete separate game modes in order to unlock them. And there isn't even a guarantee that you'll get to unlock the stuff that you actually want, because the unlocks that are displayed in Tower of Times are insanely random. Did you miss your chance at unlocking the yellow Scarlet skin because you didn't finish the tower before the timer ran out? Well, who knows when that shit is gonna be available to you again. And then you have the gear. Now, they do try to make the gears feel different by giving them different looks, but they come with their own set of problems. They all have these slots that you have to unlock in order to customize them with upgrades, and there's way too many to go through. So when you put it all together, this game is expecting you to work your ass off for really shitty rewards, and if you don't want to work for it, you have to pay actual money up front. Yeah, because that's exactly what Mortal Kombat was in desperate need of after 27 years. Fucking microtransactions. One of the most egregious examples of this game's mobile grinding nature is how it forced you to perform 50 fatalities on every single fighter in the game to unlock additional areas in the Crypt. And I am aware that they cut it in half so you only have to do 25, but that just feels like an insult to anyone who might have already done the 50. And even with the fatality requirement being cut in half, it still feels like you're doing this forever. And you know what? I don't care if they cut it down from 50 to 25. Just the fact that they even did this in the first place is more than enough of an insult, because they clearly meant for it to be this ridiculously time-consuming and repetitive. But the worst thing about this is that all of the time and effort you put into grinding doesn't matter, because MK11 is always online, meaning that you always have to be connected to the server to have access to any of your stuff. And not just your items, but multiple game modes as well. And we all know that this game's servers are going to be shut down eventually, so at some point in the future, you're going to be permanently locked out of any of the stuff you unlocked. This just means that all of the time you spent on grinding all of this in-game currency and unlocking all of this stuff is a complete waste of time. And if you were one of those people who actually spent real-life money on purchasing crystals, that just means you got completely fucked out of your money. 50 or 25 fatalities on every character doesn't matter. Upgrading all those pieces of gear doesn't matter. Spending all of that time on the time towers and other modes just to unlock that one skin for your character doesn't matter. Nothing you do in this game matters, because everything you unlocked will be gone forever. So aside from the game making you work your ass off for shitty rewards, you're working your ass off for shitty rewards that you're not even allowed to keep. Unless you have some sort of time machine that allows you to go back to 2019 or 2020, you're just shit out of luck. But at least the modes themselves are fun to play, right? Wrong. First, let's talk about the time towers, because holy fuck, the time towers suck ass. First, you have character towers for each fighter in the roster that you complete to unlock stuff that's unique for each character. The problem is that you're not allowed to simply progress to the next series of towers after completing the current one. In order to gain access to all the towers, you have to perform a certain action multiple times with every single fighter. And I mean every single fighter. 5,000 pints of blood spilt with Kano, 5,000 pints of blood spilt with Sonya, 15 fatal blows with Spawn, 15 fatal blows with Nightwolf, 10 brutalities with Devora, 10 brutalities with Scorpion, and that's not even a tenth of it. You'll spend hours on end doing the exact same things over and over and over with every single character, and it's so fucking boring. You know that bullshit from the world of Light in Super Smash Bros. Ultimate where the difficulty of the fights is artificially patched by stupid shit like a poison floor or a fire floor, and the computer having a stupid buff and other stupid shit, to the point where it's literally impossible to win certain battles unless you have certain spirits or assist items? Yeah, imagine an entire mode like that in Mortal Kombat. Some of these challenges are literally impossible to complete without using certain items. And it's not because the AI's difficulty is set too high, it's because the time towers are constantly giving the computer random, unfair, and completely full of shit advantages that range from stun locking you endlessly to dealing damage over time if you step in front of a laser, landmines that damage you and send you flying around, ice storms that constantly immobilize your fighter, things that are constantly interrupting your combos and giving the opponent an unfair opening. Oh, and about that always online thing, I hope nothing happens to your internet or you don't keep your game idle for too long in the middle of a tower. Because if anything happens to disconnect you from the server for even a second, the game completely shuts you out and you have to do the entire fucking tower all over again. Before you can actually unlock anything in the crypt, you have to spend hours, days, maybe weeks on end farming coins, souls, and hearts to open any of the chests. Second, the crypt itself is extremely boring. You have the typical exploration and finding special items to unlock new paths, but they don't add anything to make it fun. All you do is just aimlessly run around opening random chests and hope that they have something you actually want. Sometimes you'll get skins and gears, but other times you'll get stuff that's completely useless. From concept art you're never gonna look at unless you're amongst the most obsessed of MK fans, to rewards that are absolutely laughable, like unlocking the game's music to listen to in the bonus menu. I'm sure a lot of people have covered the problems with the story already, but even a year later, it's still so mind-numbing as to how atrocious it is. So many dumb writing decisions, and things that rely on the characters doing stupid things for stupid reasons, and things that just feel like NetherRealm is going the extra mile to give people the middle finger, such as having Devora kill off Scorpion after she just killed off 2 fan favorites in MKX. I have no idea what the hell is up with the Devora favoritism in this new timeline, with the writers constantly treating her like she's this really important figure when we've only known her for 2 fucking games, retconning so many things from the previous games by coming out and saying she was actually there the whole time, or having her kill off 3 longtime characters to make her seem badass and cool when it's really just forced bullshit. Hanzo would absolutely never allow himself to be killed like this, making one of the most notorious and vigorous characters in the franchise look like a throwaway character who's easily taken out by a random nobody. And even if you can ignore the terrible story, you can't ignore any of the other bullshit that happens in this game. MK11 is so disrespectful and full of blatant insults to fans of the franchise, not just because of the anti-consumer grinding and horrendous story, but also because of the social justice warrior propaganda injected into this game. Whether it's Jax telling people to get woke, the cringe-inducing Trump references, or that stupid nonsense about the female characters wearing revealing outfits. In a game where everyone is brutally murdering each other in horrendous and gruesome ways, your primary concern was making sure that the female characters were appropriately dressed because you don't want to upset any raging feminists accusing them of looking slutty. Oh, you can beat the shit out of a woman, rip out her spine, smash her organs, dismember her, and torture her all you want. Just make sure she's properly dressed while you're doing it. And don't give me any of that it's not appropriate battle attire bullshit. If that's the route you want to go, why the hell are any of the male characters still walking around without any shirts and pants and anything to barely cover their crotch? I also find it both hilarious and sad that NetherRealms is actually trying to get you to pay $6 in order to play as Frost before completing Chapter 4. They're literally telling you that you can just unlock her for free by completing the story mode. And if you were actually stupid enough to actually fall for this, you deserve to lose your hard-earned money. Oh, and for anyone who says the Aftermath DLC has better writing than the base game story, it really doesn't.
Kitana murdered your Shokan brethren. Shiva challenged her and suffered this punishment. Swear your allegiance, and I shall see her avenged.
Thank you. Your lies are revealed, sorcerer.
Shang Tsung?
You should be more vigilant, Fuji. Now bear witness. As the power to decide destiny becomes mine.
I'm not even that much of a Mortal Kombat fan, and even I feel insulted by all the repulsive bullshit that happens in this game. The scummy microtransactions, forcing the player to slave through terrible mobile gaming structure, the shitty story, the disregard for the lore, expecting you to be stupid enough to pay for early access to Frost, making the game always online, rendering your progress pointless, the SJW propaganda, the horrible game modes, and fucking with beloved characters because you think you know better than the people who have actually been with this franchise for nearly 30 years. It throws away all its potential, wastes so many opportunities, and thinks so little of the Mortal Kombat fanbase that it just does whatever it wants, no matter how offensive it is. It has no replay value and gives the player no motivation to keep playing because everything about it ends up being a waste of time, both for its story and your progress being tied to servers that won't be around in the future. Mortal Kombat 11 was made as a means to rejuvenate the series and breathe new life into it, but all they did was suck all the life out of it and leave it as a rotting corpse. Congratulations, NetherRealm Studios, I never want anything to do with this franchise ever again. There is no coming back for Mortal Kombat after this abortion of a video game. From its politics, to its scams, to its writing, to its disregard for people who were loyal to the franchise for so long, and its own continuity. And now I can never think about Mortal Kombat again without being reminded that this disaster of a game was brought into existence. I hope you're proud of yourselves.
Any guy can just jump in like week one and will randomly hit you with crushing blows, fatal blows, all this shit. Like he's gonna hit Rio with that shit in ranked. Like, and Rio's a great player, right? But this guy who knows nothing about fighting games will probably like give Rio a hard time because of all these mechanics. But that guy might stick with the game and eventually get good and start to understand what it means in fighting games. It means to be good at fighting games. And you know what he's gonna do? He's gonna be, wait a minute, I just spent 6 months learning how to get really good with Raiden. And every time I run into a Jackie, it doesn't matter how good or bad he is, I lose. Like, what the fuck is that? And then he's going to quit the game. Like, that's the ultimate result, is a loss of players, just like Tom was saying. Those guys will stick around until they learn what it really means to be good at a fighting game and then leave because the game doesn't.
Because sadly, the games that they're making now are geared towards casual players, and it's just never going to change until later. We have to. No. These are facts. These are facts. They're gearing the games to. Probably just said it. Even with the Street Fighter 5 reference, they're making the games easier for players who can't compensate because it's too hard for them to learn. So here's the easy button. Boom.
But you know what pisses me off is Scorpion that's got the fucking spear, the most classic fucking move and most iconic move in fighting game history. I can't jump after my spear. And then Johnny Cage gets buffed and he can jump after his flash of the camera, and when he throws his sunglasses in your face and he can get full jump in combos. Like, damn. That's bullshit. That's bullshit. That makes me mad, man.
That's the kind of frustration that people get.
Why do people like Marvel vs. Capcom 2? I know they don't play it anymore. Why was it such a success? The game was literally broken, and people still played it for a long time, arguably.
Because it was fun. It's not fun to fight Gira Sandtrap, no matter how good it is. It's just not fun. And Marvel vs. Capcom, as broken as all that shit is, it's fun. It's fun to deal with those mechanics, even though they're super strong. It was the same thing with Marvel 3. That game was broken as hell. But when you're playing it, dealing with those tools, it's fun. And that's the deciding factor. But they've already made this game so homogenous, and so simple.
Fun is whatever, like the usual stuff.
Some design choices you want to flesh out. Like I mean, we've known about this thing for a while, and after the third or fourth game, like, it's kind of annoying. Yeah, at first it's like, okay, there's skill to it because you have to know the exact timing of when to hit the damn button and understand how long the block stun is and everything. But it's at to the point because of online mainly. I think because online always is going to vary it up. It just makes it super fucking unfun to fight against. Like someone's going to do something that's punishable, and I go to punish it. And because I'm online and it's like maybe we had like a little bit of a lag spike, I miss my punish and the guy gets a down 2 crushing blow. Like that shit fucking sucks.
Myself and Paul beat you all the time against each other when it comes to like
I'm over the skill of doing the just frame or 2 frame fucking punish window. I'm over it. It sucks. Online fighting games aren't good enough for it. I say get rid of it. Fuck that shit.
And to consecrate our bond, I killed Jared for him.
Okay. I'm just gonna. What? Stop!